Hey everyone, welcome to today's Program Yourself Thin podcast. Today we're talking about don't wait to start losing weight. Never, ever wait to start losing weight. One of the biggest mistakes you can make, because waiting turns into a lot longer than you expected. And you'll realize if you look back at your weight loss history that you have spent a lot of that time waiting to start. And there's such a better alternative that you're probably not considering. So first off, the fact that you're waiting to start is completely understandable, because what you're waiting to start is something that's really intense and overwhelming, most likely. Most likely, your plan to lose weight is something about, tracking every calorie, changing up your eating completely, completely cutting out carbs or sugar or some real intense step. All right. And this is one of the big reasons why you're waiting to do it, because it's going to take so much effort, energy that you can't do it right now, right? You don't have that time, energy, motivation to get it done. And so you put it off. But therein lies the whole problem, is that what you're thinking you need to do is so big and overwhelming that you're avoiding it. So again, you're kind of trapped in this mindset that the only way forward is to finally rise to the occasion and take this big thing on, when in reality, the best option available to you right now is not to wait. And it's not to take everything on. It is to cut down what is overwhelming to something that's simple. So if you want to start losing weight, but you don't really have the energy to jump fully into your crazy plan, how about you just make one small shift today? And if you can really wrap your head around this concept of getting 1% better each and every day, it's so helpful, because on the front end, it's so much easier to do something that's 1% better than yesterday, right? So all of a sudden we don't feel like we have to wait. You don't have to put it off, right? Because it's not a huge deal. It's not this big overwhelming thing you got to do. Now it's, I'm going to eat an apple tomorrow. I'm going to drink more water. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to eat a salad. I'm going to have one helping of dinner. Whatever it may be, we break it down into small pieces so that you have more options available to you, so you can take more action ultimately. Because again, if you take a look back at your weight loss history, I promise you, it looks like everyone else's, where it's you going 100 miles an hour or 0 miles an hour, right? It's all or nothing. And again, the worst effect from that approach is that you're doing nothing most of the time, right? So people tend to say, I'm all or nothing, but no, you're really nothing or all most of the time. And the way to stop waiting and to start taking action is to start breaking down what it is that you're going to do. And you've never been taught this. You're always been taught to kind of go for the grand slam, right? If you're going to do it right and do everything all at once. And while granted, in fairy tale land, if you changed everything all at once, that would get you the fastest results. Here in the real world, when you try and change everything all at once, A, you avoid it because you don't want to do it. And then B, once you finally do it, you get overwhelmed and quit and stop doing it. And it is the quantity of what you think you need to do to lose weight that is one of the core problems for you. Because again, you're avoiding it, and then you can't keep it up. And that keeps you stuck in this perpetual hamster wheel cycle of dieting, where you take a bunch of action, then do nothing. Take a bunch of action, then do nothing. And it's that back and forth that really is sabotaging your results as much as anything. And the answer, again, is not to wait till you magically have so much willpower and energy and focus and time that you can do everything. It is to break down what it is you're going to do into small bite-sized pieces so that you can do it comfortably. That is the secret. And so if you're here today, you've been eating Halloween candy, you're kind of feeling like, all right, I got 2 months left of the year, but I don't have time. I don't want to start my keto plan. Great. Let's just start small, start making small, significant improvements as you move forward. And what happens when you take small improvements, you move them forward, is they're comfortable. And you can start to focus on weaving them into your routine and your lifestyle, so they start to show up automatically. And once that starts happening, you can build on top of them, where it doesn't take so much mental focus and energy to do something. You start to do it pretty much on autopilot. And so again, if you can break down what it is you think you need to do to lose weight into smaller pieces and be okay with that, right? Again, there's a great saying that I always think of, you should reflect on the back of your mind, is that most people overestimate how much weight they can lose in a month and underestimate how much weight they can lose in a year. And this is a sub strategy of that, right? When we start breaking things down, we allow ourselves to comfortably start taking action now, but it really is a strategy that's built for the long term, because again, dieting is built for fastest results possible. And so we want to flip that, and we want to start to make this focus and our energy into long term. And again, I mean, I talk about this every day, but it's like the value of this is so profound because you start taking a lot more action and the action is a lot more comfortable. Can't stress this enough. Dieting has conditioned us and trained us to only evaluate a weight loss plan based on how much weight we lose and how short a amount of time. But we've got to look at the other side of how does it feel to do that? And if it's overwhelming and stressful, then you ain't going to stick with it. And so what's the point? Who cares how much weight you lose in a month if you can't keep it up past that? What's the point? And so again, once you internalize this, ironically, the path forward is a lot easier and a lot more comfortable. So give this some thought, get started with something today, just anything, a little water, a walk, an apple. It could be the smallest thing ever, but do something that nudges you in the right direction, that makes you feel like at least you took one step in the right direction. And those build up, and they really can affect you. So go do that. And if you want some support in doing this on a deeper level, click the link in my bio or go to Program Yourself Thin. Or if you are over in Facebook land, I will put this link in here where you can go and get this hypnosis session. It is a free hypnosis session. It's called The New Thin Me, and it is a weight loss kickstart session. So it is designed to get you motivated by connecting you to your goal weight, to your goal self, and really kind of taking you into that experience so you can have that at firsthand, and really kind of tap into the reality of being at your goal weight and being the person you want to be. And a lot of times that sort of motivation kind of pulls you forward. And that's the purpose of it. So yes. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask them, and make sure you get that hypnosis session. Because even if you've never experienced hypnosis, you ought to, because hypnosis is a completely normal, natural state. Even conservative Christians, I got that question over the weekend. Could a conservative Christian, should they be worried about the session? No. You could just listen to the session without going to hypnosis. I mean, hypnosis I can't force you into hypnosis, folks. You can't be forced into I mean, on a very technical level, you could. I mean, if we start getting to sleep deprivation and, put you in prison, you know what I mean? But in a normal reality, I can't force you into hypnosis. Okay. I just want you to know that. So, if you're ever worried about the hypnosis session, just listen to it and you'll hear what it says. It's good ideas. You know what I mean? You'll listen to that session. I promise you, even if you're the most conservative of Christians, you will not find anything in there remotely scary or worrying. And the actual experience of hypnosis is absolutely okay for Christians. It's a completely normal, natural state. All right. So there's no demonic forces. It's just your brain in a different brainwave pattern. It's the same brainwave pattern you go into every night when you watch TV or watch movies, right? Where you're aware you're in the living room or in the theater, but you're sucked in and absorbed into the story you're watching. Right. And so all hypnosis is really, it's just basically, it's kind of turning your imagination up. Right. So you can kind of step into whatever it is we're imagining and focusing on, and you can have some of those experiences now. So imagine it like a TV show about the best version of you at your goal weight, right? And all we're going to do is we're going to do it in a way where your imagination is able to kind of grasp onto it. So nothing scary or worried or weird going on. And when you listen to the hypnosis session, one of the first things you'll realize is this feels very normal and natural because you go in and out of hypnotic states all day long, your entire life. So there's no avoiding it. Hypnosis is going to feel weird to you. It's going to feel reminiscent. It's going to feel reminiscent of when you watch TVs or movies, especially like engrossing ones. Yeah, do that. So anyways, go check that out. What's up, Marguerite? Marguerite says, I love this strategy. Yes, the strategy of cutting things down into smaller bite-sized pieces is a winner. I have been doing this work for over 20 years professionally. And I can promise you, strategically, one of the best things you could ever do is to break your approach down into smaller pieces. Again, all of you it's not your fault. You've been conditioned to think in an all or nothing way with weight loss your entire life. So it's normal that you would think that way now. Okay. But my goal is to get on you every day and remind you to stop doing that because it's not helpful. It was a trick. Dieting is not on your side, folks. The diet industry is a branch of the food processing industry. It's not here to help you. What's up, John? John says, living 20 pounds over goal weight versus living at goal weight medically, is there any advantage to losing the last 20 pounds? That is a wonderful question, I think. I think that's a great question because it gets to the point of what's your goal weight. And to program yourself thin, that's obviously a fundamental part of the program. It's the first thing we do, by the way, just so we know. And by the way, I'll get into this a little bit later, probably. The technology in my program has been solid, not rock solid. And over this weekend, I was forced to make it rock solid. And I say forced, I don't mean it that way, but things really broke down last week in a kind of unusual way. But it was the impetus needed to make the program rock solid. So anyways, I'm going to get into that a little bit later. But with Program Yourself Thin, I give more free stuff away than anyone. So one of the things I give away is literally how to choose your goal weight. And I know for John, I know this has been a thing for you for a while. So again, you're in the program. Uzo, I did see your question. I'm gonna get to that one second. You're in the program, so you have access to this, John. Okay, so you can get this. And remember that the very first section of this is how to choose your goal weight. Okay. And there's also a little online quiz I have, how to choose your goal weight. And I give all that away for free too. So again, another reason to sign up. For you, John, though, you can go check that goal weight piece out and clarify that, because you're getting into the nitty gritty of it, John, right? So if you're 20 pounds above goal weight, assuming you're not 3 feet tall, then it's just a personal preference. What I'm saying is that 20 pounds overweight for the vast majority of people is going to have almost zero effect on your health. We need to understand that, even with the BMI charts, and again, please understand my language, I'm being very specific here. When it comes to the BMI chart, it is a statistical document. Okay. And so with statistical documents, it represents the whole, but it never represents a person in a way, if that makes sense. And so the BMI chart was not really about health anyways, and it was specifically to white European men on top of it. Okay. That being said, when you want to choose your goal weight, at this point, I would suggest when it comes to health, the health component of how to choose your goal weight, I would suggest that the BMI chart, if you're a white man, I know John is, okay. So for John, the BMI chart is going to be more accurate than, a person of color. Okay. And so the first step is, I would suggest, if you care about your health, is you want to be at least in the normal to overweight range on the BMI chart, because they've done a lot of studies now where people in the overweight range of the BMI chart, a lot of times are just as healthy as the normal weight range. So it does not seem in the overweight range of the BMI chart, it doesn't seem to have a lot of negative correlations with health related factors. Okay. Now, when you get into obesity, it starts to, right? That's when the health effects start showing up. But for a lot of people, again, not everyone, right? Because everyone's different, but for the average person, if you're in the overweight range, it's not necessarily going to have a huge impact on your health. So 20 pounds over goal weight, what's that mean? And I say this to you, and let me just set a little context. I dropped over 50 pounds over 30 years ago, and I've maintained that same weight. But about 14 years ago, I put 25 pounds on, and within about like 6 months. And so for me, there was big health issues. There was quality of life issues. I noticed I was snoring more and I wasn't sleeping as well. And there was little different things like that. But ultimately, if you're within 20 pounds of your goal weight, however you're deciding that goal weight, the question starts to become, where's the best quality of life for me? Okay. So back at that time, when I put the weight on, it's because life was going bonkers. I had a new baby who didn't sleep well. We moved to a new house we're completely redoing and running a business. It was just extremely stressful time of life, uncertain. We just moved. It was just a lot of craziness. And the eating reflected that. Okay. And so at that point, I remember thinking, well, I'm going to bring the weight down because I could notice effects from it. I want to bring it down, but I brought it down 15 pounds, which is another way to say I raised my goal weight by 10 pounds during that time. So this is my point to you, is that goal weight cannot just be decided from a chart. It really is an art and a science. And you have to figure out, where's the sweet spot for me? Because at that time, it was harder for me to eat well, to keep my weight down that extra 10 pounds. So I acknowledged that and I raised my goal weight up. So it was just easier quality of life, easier to maintain the weight I was going to maintain, all the rest of it. Now, I since have dropped that weight back down again because life's calmed down. I get back to normal and it's gone down a little bit more. But again, your goal weight is something you have to kind of experience. So for you, John, what I would suggest is, assuming you're 20 pounds overweight right now, and I know you've lost some weight, the question becomes, what's going to be better at 20 pounds lighter? Why would I want to be 20 pounds lighter? Because again, it's always a cost benefit analysis. To drop 20 pounds, you're going to have to take more action. Is that action worth the benefit of the 20 pounds you're going to lose? What are you going to get out of the 20 pounds? And that's what all this comes down to. At the end of the day, your goal weight has to be meaningful to you. It has to mean something to you. I'm at my weight right now, and I maintain this weight because I believe this is the weight that's going to allow me to live the longest and the happiest lifestyle. That's what I believe. And it's weaved into my ability to be the parent I want to be, the husband I want to be, the business owner I want to be, the coach I want to be, the blah, 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 blah. Everything in my life that's important to me, the weight is all weaved around it. Very important. So for you, John, what is the benefit for you 20 pounds lighter? It probably won't be much of a medical benefit, I'm going to guess. You know, if you're 180 and you want to get down to 160, I don't think that 20 pounds is going to make that much of a difference medically. You know, and so the question is, though, for you, though, what are you going to get out of it? Now, I can say for me, I didn't drop that weight because of medical stuff as much as I feel more comfortable at this weight. I like this weight. I feel lighter. I feel more energized. I can just go on and on about why I like it, but I have chosen this weight and I love this weight and I have a lot of meaning for why I want to be here. So I'm glad for you, John, that you're in this place where you can reflect on these 20 pounds, because what are you going to get being 20 pounds lighter? What would you get to be 10 pounds lighter? And for a lot of people, they can't answer this question. I believe at the end of the day, I think most dieters that are struggling with their weight loss, the core issue they got to deal with initially is their motivation. Most people are not motivated to lose weight. Just because you think about losing weight and want to lose weight doesn't mean you're really motivated. You got to understand that. All right. So a lot of people walking around and they're not really motivated to lose weight, actually. But anyways, so let me know if that helps you, John. Yeah, Donna says hypnosis is relaxing. Yes, it's wicked relaxing. Hypnosis, I will say, when I started my office, that was one of the most shocking things to me, that I was relaxing people as much as they've ever relaxed in their lives a lot of times. And so I had not really anticipated that, but yes, hypnosis is extremely, extremely relaxing. Philip says down 48 pounds, started August 1st. Love your content. Well, thank you, Philip. Great job. Congrats. What an accomplishment. Holy cow. That's some pretty fast weight loss. All right. So keep it up and great job. It's really good. And thanks for listening too. All right. Blessing Bless says, I can't stop taking natural remedies because it calms me down from depression. I'm speaking from experience when I say that pills don't always work for everyone. I've had this terrible mental health issue for a long time, but it wasn't until I found Herbalist on Facebook. Ah, yes. The old comment spam. Uzo says, how do I control myself by eating only one chocolate instead of the whole bag? Well, that's a good question. And, you know, I'm going to say right off the bat, I got to remind you all of this. And again, please understand, I've done over 6,000 private weight loss sessions. I've been doing this for a long time. But the answer to that question starts by genuinely asking that question. Okay. So I do have answers to that question, but I have answers specifically that are for me and obviously for the clients I've worked with. So for you, Uzo, you got to ask that question and genuinely reflect on it. I think a lot of times people flippantly ask questions, you know, and I think that, if you really ask that, how can I control myself by eating only one chocolate instead of the whole bag? We'll start thinking about it. You know, now the only way you're going to be able to answer that too, I can program yourself. Then we have the rehearsal technique, which we learned so much from. I'm not going to go to the reasons why right now, but so I would want to rehearse, how could I have a chocolate and not eat the whole bag? Because for a lot of you, you have no idea how that's even possible. You have no mental representation of what that would be like. And so that's where we start, you know, is what would it feel like? You tell me. How do you control yourself? If I had $1 million waiting for you, if you could only eat one chocolate instead of the whole bag, how would you do it? What would you think? What would you say to yourself? What would you feel? What would you focus on? How would you set yourself up for success? You have these answers. So a lot of times we don't consider to really ask them. You know, we feel out of control with the food as if there's no other alternative. Well, there is an alternative. You can absolutely eat chocolate differently. Does it take some practice? Yeah, of course. Of course. All right. And I see Karen. Thank you. Thank you, Karen, for bringing this up. Cause this is what I knew I was going to get into this. I'm apologizing for this. And I promise you that the solutions are going on behind the scene. And they are going to be in there by tomorrow evening. And I will send the workaround that's going on today. Yes. What Karen's saying is I've started getting kicked out of the Circle app when I click on any hypnosis session to listen to. I know. And I apologize so much for this. And there is a solution. That's the big thing. Okay. The solution, Karen, the messages you should start to get from now on are going to bring you to the right page, which is going to play beautifully and always does. And I should have never done what I did with Circle. Circle's great for certain things, and it is not great for audio, unfortunately. So, and then lately this last week, it's just kicking people out anytime you listen to an audio, just kicking them right out of the app. So it's so frustrating. I apologize to everyone. The solution is already in place. So I will say, Karen, it takes a little bit of navigating at this point. This is all going to be resolved in the Circle app. The program's no longer going to be in the Circle app. It's going to link from the Circle app to the membership area, which you already have access to. You can already get in there. So if you can go to spaces in the Circle app, scroll down to membership area, click that, it'll bring you into the members area. You can go up to goal weight hypnosis, click on that. All the sessions are there. Okay. And I don't know where you're at in the program, Karen, but if you're getting messages each day, that link is going to bring you to the correct session. But the links in Circle are going to be updated within the next 24, 48 hours so that you can go from Circle straight to those things. It'll make more sense when I do it too. But I apologize for that. If you're in the program, I know there's a lot of new people in there, and geez Louise, I'm so sorry that this is the experience you've had this first week. I promise you it's fixed. Like, I promise you. It's just, it is fixed already too, by the way. It's just that in the Circle app, it doesn't have the links over to the right thing. It has the program in there that's playing all screwy. So that's going to be fixed very, very quickly here. Sorry. Jenny says, thanks for all your insights. I've started following you recently, and I've heard you say so many really helpful things already. Well, thank you, Jenny. Yes. I like to think I say some pretty helpful things without seeming too conceited here. I just think that I come at weight loss from a very, very unique perspective that you don't normally get to hear. And, that's why I'm here for free every day. Cause this is a goal of mine, a mission for me. And I'm really glad that you're enjoying it, and keep it up, Jenny. Thank you for listening. Philip says, one of your favorite tips that I hear you talk about is thinking about what it will feel like after you eat something. It's helped me make smarter decisions with my eating, and focusing on the fact that a healthier meal is more important than a tasty treat now. Yeah, Philip, that's wonderful. And so no wonder Philip's, just killing it with the weight loss right now. That is probably one of the most powerful strategies there is, is, again, there's 3 phases of eating: anticipation, consumption, consequence. Our entire lives, the food companies have conditioned us to focus on anticipation and consumption, and to ignore the consequence. But once you start really paying attention to, the consequence of what you're eating, and I'm not talking about the weight consequence. I think that's what most people think about. Well, I shouldn't eat this, I'm going to gain weight. No, not that one. It's the one where, how will you feel 6 seconds after you take the last bite? Consequence, right? What do you start saying to yourself? What do you start feeling, right? Emotionally? What do you start feeling physically? And when you start paying attention to that, it is a very, very sobering. And I think one of the most powerful techniques to change up your eating naturally. And so much of that is weaved right into the core of Program Yourself Thin, is this idea of, like, what is the consequence? What's waiting for me on the other side of eating this? And once you start thinking that way, you naturally just make way better decisions. So that's a great, great strategy, Philip. Not surprised that that's helped you so much. Buster Wild says, I pray you get looped into a lucid dream. I have been looped into lucid dreams. I have played with that quite a bit. Haven't done it in a while, though. But enjoyed my lucid dream experiments. And I used to be in that a lot more back in the day. I'm sure I will get back into that again at some point. And I can't wait. Very exciting stuff, lucid dreaming, I would say. Some of the coolest stuff humans can do, I would say. Oh, Karen says, just tried that. When I click on the membership, it wants me to join for $19. What? When it says, how's that possible? I'm just looking at something right now, Karen, because I'm so sorry for this. It's just so frustrating. Again, I'm going to have this set up so it won't even matter. You'll click on the stuff and it'll go to the right thing. Your membership area says sign up for $19. That's really weird, Karen. Well, I'm going to have to figure that one out. But I got you, Karen. Give me like today and I will get back to you because it's a problem. Stay in circle. I'm going to put a post up there with some quick workarounds and we're going to figure it out. All right. What's Shannon saying? Shannon say it's Monday Magic Jim. Think I'll get my pleasure day out of the way. But in all seriousness, I can relate to the fact that being overwhelmed and too much stress is not a good place to be. I strategically lost a lot of weight and kept it off for over 2 years, but switched jobs, 12 hope days in part. Tim's Saturdays left me in shambles. Gained most of the weight back, not in the job anymore, but feel defeated having to start over again. I'll never let myself be in such a stressed state again. So grateful stumbled upon your podcast. You make such a difference. Thank you, Shannon. I'm sorry for your experience. It sucks. It's hard to lose the weight and then put it back on. Again, that's my heart goes out to you. That's literally why I'm here every day. People take action and lose their results or can't get the results or maintain them. You know, they break my heart. And that's why I'm here. So, I get it, Shannon. Oh, 12-hour days. I got you. So in part-time Saturdays, I got you. So again, for Shannon, just very common that what happens with diet, just in life too. I mean, I just talked about myself. I got the most flexible weight system in the world, program yourself thin. And even I still, once life went bonkers on me, I put some weight on. So again, this can happen. It's not a big deal. What we need though, Shannon, what I hope you learn from this is that, again, first off, you got a huge advantage because you know what it's like to live as that person. You know, you can do it. You did it for a long time. So all that was great. But then what happened is life changed and whatever you were doing, you either didn't have the ability or didn't think to adjust it to the new situation, the new 12-hour days, new part-time work, all the rest of it. And this happens, because our subconscious mind is built to just do what we're doing. It's hard to change behaviors. And so all of a sudden, when you've been doing something that's helped you lose weight, now you change jobs, all of a sudden that stress and shift in schedule and all the other stresses can absolutely knock us off track. So that's completely understandable, Shannon. But what we want to do is take a step back, look at your situation now, and again, start figuring out how can I get myself back to where I was at, and get those results back. But again, the first thing now you're realizing this, Shannon, that the foundation for you, and I always want to point this out, because in Program Yourself Thin, I mean, the real big difference with Program Yourself Thin is this goal weight pyramid. Okay. So this is what we follow in the program. We mindset, lifestyle, and eating. In order to live at your goal weight, we really focus on 3 core things. And so for Shannon, like as soon as she starts this job with all these extra hours, these long shifts, part-time work, a different schedule, her stress levels go up, and she probably had no way to deal with that. So again, so much of managing your weight is outside of just the eating part of it. Is what I'm trying to say here. And so if Shannon had more ability or more routines and situations in her life where she could relax and calm down, that probably would have put her in a better spot to manage this new reality with all the stress and make better choices and decisions. So the first thing I would focus on, or it sounds like you're already been focusing on it, is to really double down on the relaxation and the calm. Really commit to that. And once you start to calm and relax yourself and replenish yourself a bit, then start more and more and more, go back into the eating, change it up and get there. But here's what I would suggest to you in closing here is that I know it's frustrating when you feel like, well, I lost the weight, then I put it back on. The big thing I would take out of that is you learn the most important golden rule of managing your weight, which is to really create a foundation of calm. And so the next time you lose this weight will be the last time, because now you'll build it on a foundation of calm. Hopefully you're also going to transform your mindset, other lifestyle factors, and create an eating plan that's customized for you and learn how to run your mind. But the first step, again, would be to calm down. All right. Yeah. Karen says, I've been using the Circle app for a couple months and all of a sudden it's kicking me out. Yeah, I know that was a crazy one. And it's crazier about it, I will tell you, is that they are on the case, and they've been on the case for a week here and they haven't figured it out. But in true Program Yourself Thin fashion, we take what we're given and we move forward in the best way possible. And ironically, this was a real blessing for us all. Because what some of you don't know, and Karen, you wouldn't know this because it's been working for you, but it's like when you have an app, I'll tell you something. I don't know a little about technical stuff. When you have an app, it's like there's 10 million phones out there. There's 10 million versions of each operating system. I mean, it gets exponential. And what ends up happening when you have lots of people in the program is like they all can have different issues because they all got different phones, different versions. Oh my God. And so, long story short, the big mistake I made with the Circle app was putting the program into it, because I always had it. It doesn't matter, but there was a membership area for you, but it's a web-based one, which is way more robust, never an issue. And the big mistake I made was putting the program into Circle instead of linking from Circle to the program. But you live and you learn, got it figured out. I got a few more tweaks I got to figure out to just make it smoother for you all. But it's already there. It's already set up. So if you're getting kicked out of the app, you want to listen to hypnosis sessions, well, except for you, Karen, you're getting some weird redirect. I'll figure that out. But yeah, you're going to be able to link right to the membership area. That thing is rock solid. So no more issues for the people that have been struggling and dealing with little dumb things. That's all going to be fixed. So I apologize. Thank you for your patience though. Philip says, I hear you're talking about a members only section. Is this a service that you offer that you pay for? Yeah, Program Yourself then is a whole course. Okay. So again, I give you more free stuff away than anyone. I got so much free stuff coming. And I can't wait to get you in this week. This week, the free area is going to be ready to go. A lot of cool things rolling out this week. So Circle is going to kind of be for customers and for free members that want to join. That'll be there. So yes. But yes, it's a paid part of the program. And yeah, it is the most amazing program on the planet. But you can go check it out at programyourselfthen.com if you choose to. Oh, okay. Karen thinks it's working now. Great. Yes, it's all going to work great. And I promise you, it's just going to be smoother. It's all working now. I'm going to stop talking about it. What's up, Jody? Oh, poor Jody. You've been in tech hell. I'm glad you figured it out. Yes. Thank you, Jody. And I apologize. Yeah, you should be good, Jody. And again, probably just another week of a little, well, there'll be no more glitches. Famous last words. But anyways, yes. So Shannon says, you make so much sense. Thank you. Well, thank you, Shannon. Yes, I do make a lot of sense. I will say I do make a lot of sense because I work with people. I meet people where they're at. I think a lot of the weight loss industry is basically people telling you what to do. And I think that if you're really truly going to change, you're going to need more than just being told what to do. You're going to have to be shown how to actually get yourself to change, how to get yourself to do the thing you know you should. And so I have spent my career working with people on the ground level that they know they want to do something. They know they shouldn't eat ice cream, but they don't know how to stop eating the ice cream at night. So it's no one ever shows you that when it comes to weight loss. It's always telling you, oh, don't eat ice cream. Well, no shit. We all know enough about what we're supposed to do to lose weight. The problem is we can't get ourselves to do it because you're never taught how to run your mind. Never, ever. So, excuse me. So, yeah, thank you. But that's why I think a lot of things I say are different than what you typically hear, because again, with what comes to weight loss, it's always just people telling you what to do. And I don't think anyone ever really goes into the granular details of how to get yourself to do it consistently. So I like to think that that's where it's a little different. Grady says, is it true that men lose weight faster than women? I would say in general, that does seem to be true. But at the same time, everyone's unique too. So I'll say to this, that maybe men lose weight faster than women in general, but you as a woman, if you're a woman out there, I bet you'll still lose weight faster than some other women, and you'll lose weight faster than some men. Just what I'm saying. So don't get lost in statistics, and who gives a shit anyways, too, by the way. Like, even if you lose weight slower, who cares? Who cares? It's not about the weight loss. It's about the living at your goal weight. So if it took you twice as long to get to your goal weight as a man, who gives a shit? That's just how it is. Is it fair? Well, nothing in life's fair. So add that to the list and just get going. You're not going to care. Once you get to your goal, you're not going to give a shit. Once you've been at your goal weight for 10 years, you're not going to care if it took you twice as long as a man. Just so you know, not that I'm not saying that's what you're thinking, but I hear that a lot from women that they will use that idea, whether it's true or not. They will use the idea that men lose weight faster as, oh, it's not fair. And then they don't do anything, so it may be true, but who cares? What's up, Mario? How's it going? Mario said I had not binged in months, but I did on Halloween, and now I see myself overeating more and more. Yeah, that happens. I've been riding that roller coaster for the last week and a half here. It's so crazy. The candy thing's very interesting, but um, Mario, just relax. Mario always freaks out, right? I love it though. I mean, because again, you represent a lot of people, right? Whereas as soon as you make a mistake, it's just like, but just relax, Mario. You've been doing great, right? I've not binged in months. Well, great. Okay. Just remember that. Relax. Things happen. I haven't eaten as much candy as I've eaten the last week and a half, and it's like, it's going up and I crave it more and I'm thinking about it more, right? And I'm going to deal with it, but I'm going to deal with it with a base of relaxation and calm. I know I'm in control of the candy. But you can't be in control of candy. No, I do is think about it and I just keep binging more and more and more and I keep eating more and I keep thinking about it. Oh, what am I going to do? Right? Oh, God. That's terrifying to me. Okay. Just relax. Okay. I've been eating more candy. It's Halloween. Oh, I binged on. I ate a whole bowl of candy on Saturday night. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I don't want to keep it up. I want to get back to how I was. It felt a lot better when I wasn't binging all the time. It's kind of funny candy for a little bit, but I'm ready to kind of wean it back down and get back to where I was. Let's do it. How can I do it? You know what I mean, Mario? You hear that? Do you know what I mean? It's not the specifics of what I'm saying so much as it is the whole vibe of how I'm saying it. Just calm down, ground yourself in your success, Mario, right? It's right in the comment you leave. I've not binged in months, right? Now I know how you're saying, I can hear you saying it, right? I haven't binged in months, Jim. You're saying it like that, right? You should be saying it like this. I haven't binged in months. Jim, it's amazing. I have not binged in months, but I did have Halloween. Right. And I see myself, it's kind of kicking up a little bit, but I haven't binged in months. So I know I want to get back to that and on that path. Right. But that's not how you're saying it. You're going past the months of not binging. You're just flying by it and you're steeping yourself in the overeating of Halloween and beyond. You see? So we got to keep ourselves grounded, even when our behaviors, it's like the anchor again, right? We go back to the goal weight blueprint or the pyramid. Mindset's at the bottom because it's kind of got the anchoring effect. Okay. So when your mindset's solid, I've been eating more candy. I've been eating a ton of candy this week. And on top of that, it's just, oh my God, last week, my wife made cookies. We pounded all those. This week, my daughter come home. She want to get donuts. We're eating those. I'm eating candy. So my candy and sweets consumption's gone off. It's gone like this. Like if you look over the year, the last 3 months, my candy sweets consumption is like this. And then the last 2 weeks, it went like this. Okay. So that's why I'm at the same spot you are, Mario. But listen to how I'm talking about it. Why? Because my mindset's rock solid. My lifestyle's rock solid. And most of my eating's rock solid. But then there's this increased in candy that's gone on the last 2 weeks. It's really a week and a half. But I'm calm with it. You know what I mean? I understand that that's the nature of life. Life flows. Sometimes you eat more, sometimes you eat less. Sometimes you eat more candy, sometimes you eat less. That's just natural. It's completely normal. But remember to ground yourself into your mindset. The mindset that hasn't binged in months. You see what I'm saying? We're in the exact same boat. Listen to how I'm talking. I'm going to ground myself. Now I'm still eating candy, but I'm dialing it down. I'm winding it down calmly, confidently. Why? Because I like it. It feels better when I'm not eating sugar and candy all the time. It's fun to do for a little bit for me. I like doing a little bit, even though it's kind of gross in one way, but it's kind of fun to do sometimes. But I wouldn't want to eat this candy and eat like this all the time. And I'm rooted and grounded in that fact. And so I'm not nervous or worried that this is going to snowball into some big thing. I keep grounding myself back and being calm, relaxed, eating better. And I'm slowly and systematically now weaning out the candy. And you can do the same thing, Mario. And so great job for not binging for months. Let's focus on the celebrations too. While you're aware too, again, I'm not saying ignore the candy, you know what I mean? But I think that we can do both. Deb said, bless you. Thank you. It says, it makes me crazy whenever I make a mistake. Yeah, Mario, no, you can't get crazy when you make a mistake, folks. All right. Rule number 1. That's why, again, in Program Yourself Thin, we're all or something, not all or nothing, because we know we're going to make mistakes. Program Yourself Thin is rooted in making mistakes. Like literally, that's one of the things that makes it so amazing, because with Program Yourself Thin, you start day 1, you're not fixing everything. You're going to keep making mistakes. Day 1, I expect you to make mistakes. Now, the difference is with Program Yourself Thin, one of the core parts of the program is you learn how to learn from your mistakes. So we do the rehearsal technique, the Program Yourself Thin rehearsal technique. You use that on mistakes you made and you plan it for tomorrow. But when you make a mistake, you learn and grow and evolve from it. So mistakes, all of a sudden, they lose a lot of that emotional kind of zap to them. And instead, we just recognize them as part of the process and use them to move forward. Not a big deal. When you're so freaked out about mistakes, it's such a big issue for so many reasons, because when you're so scared of making a mistake, it affects you both ways. Meaning, like, even in your day-to-day reality, you're so nervous you're going to make a mistake because you're so terrified of them. And then when you make a mistake, it's so like devastating. That's all you can focus on, so it's like the mistakes end up having like this gravitational pull. And so that's why I'm programming yourself thin. That's such a fundamental part of the program, is that the redo rehearsal technique allows you to make peace with your mistakes, to learn from them, to grow from them. And so you just don't approach them the same way. They lose a lot of their emotional kind of like charge. And that's a huge piece of the success puzzle, hope that makes sense. So yeah, Mario says, I feel bloated and I gained 8 pounds in a couple of days. Yeah. So again, I mean, you tap into that, Mario. Do you want to keep feeling bloated? Do you want to, be 8 pounds up? You don't. Okay. So just relax, ground yourself, calm down, and wean yourself off. I think that's one of the things. You can go cold turkey and just completely cut the candy out. And that's a path. And if you want to do that, obviously that's available to you. But the other path there is to also start, like for me, I'm drinking more water. I'm eating less candy, overall, and I will wean it down. And then I also know that the candy is going to be gone soon. So I'll get rid of it as well. And I'll just go right back to normal. But I'm not going to I'm not going to freak out. You see what I'm saying? Like, you see the difference? I appreciate Mario for so much for saying this. I know Mario too. So I'm not just like, I'm not going to bust everyone's chops this way, but Mario just always freaks out, but that freaking out, do you understand? How do you think when you're freaking out? How do you eat when you're freaking out? How do you feel when you're freaking out, right? It's not a resourceful state that tends to lead to success. Whereas when you're calm and grounded and centered, even when you're making mistakes, I think that's a much more powerful space to be in. So, Arna says, hi from New Zealand. I really love listening to your videos, especially the Dream Body, Dream Outfit one. Oh, thank you, Arna. I appreciate that. Yeah. New Zealand, right? That's what I said. I get a lot of people from Australia and New Zealand. It is kind of funny. I do get a lot of, I have a lot of customers from New Zealand. So, yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad you love that. That session's great. I loved all those hypnosis videos. I think are just so useful. Hypnosis really is such a powerful tool in creating personal change. But keep listening, and thank you for watching those. All right. So I love when you absolutely roast me. Yes. That's what I'm here for, Mario. But again, I know you can take it. So it's like, again, it's all with love. I'm proud of what you're doing. Again, to go months with no binging is wonderful. Okay. But steep yourself in that, I can't wait. I will say this. The book that I have is it's almost done. It's almost done. It's so exciting. The cover is getting made right now. And it's like, it feels so real. I can't wait for you all to get this book though. It's really exciting. So I'm thinking probably in the next, probably another week or two, it should be available on Amazon. So super excited for that. Uzo says, hey, I had a question. I answered it, Uzo. So I don't know if you took off or something, but unless you had a different question too. But the question about chocolates, I answered that sort of. Maybe you didn't like my answer though. What's up, Fred? Fred's from New Zealand too. See, that's what I mean. Yeah, it's so funny. We get people from all over the world here. It's so cool. What's up, Demi? How's it going? Kathleen says, I love to eat at night. Ugh, do well all day and lose it at 8 p.m. Ugh. Yeah, I get it, Kathleen. And that was my big thing too. When I first started, my worst habit was eating at night, every night, And so, yeah, it's a challenge, but it doesn't just get fixed, So here's the thing, Kathleen, what I would suggest, the biggest thing when I hear that, and that's the number one thing I hear in some form or another, it's always this way. Breakfast and lunch are great. And then afternoon and dinner, and after dinner, everything falls off the tracks. Okay. Some version of that. Right. And so saying I do great all day. But then at 8 o'clock, everything falls off. It's the same thing. Okay. Same idea. And I will regularly ask people, I'll say, okay, well, what's great? What's eating great? What'd you eat for breakfast? What'd you eat for lunch? A lot of times I'll hear I ate nothing. I say, well, how's that great? You know what I mean? That's not setting you up for success. So this brings me to the point that a lot of times where the problem shows up is not where the problem was created. Oftentimes when I hear people say I do well all day, what they really mean is I restricted myself all day. And by the time 8 o'clock comes, I couldn't restrict myself anymore. So it's very important that we manage our hunger. So doing well cannot be that we're starving all day, And so that would be my first suggestion, Kathleen, is when you say doing well all day, what does that mean? At 8 o'clock, how hungry are you? Now, again, 8 o'clock might just be purely emotional hunger too. Okay. But the first thing I want to look at is, where are you at hunger wise at 8 o'clock? Have you nourished yourself enough during the day to thrive from 8 p.m. on? Because if you haven't nourished yourself and you're really hungry, you're never going to succeed long term. So that's the first step. Now, the second step is the emotional, habitual piece of eating at night. Okay. But we need the first part fixed first, because if you're really hungry, you're just never going to be able to fix the second part. So once you're nourished and you know you've eaten enough for the day, now we can deal with the emotional, habitual piece of the eating at night. And to that point, there's a lot of ways to go at it. But basically, I want to understand the pattern. So, for example, I want to know the emotional benefits you're getting out of eating at 8 o'clock at night. They're there, I promise you. And that's the first step, is to notice, how do you feel at night? Are you using the food to relax, to reward yourself, to entertain yourself? What are we using the food at 8 p.m. plus for emotionally? And once you understand that, then you can ask the question, if you're using it for entertainment, you can start asking questions like, how can I entertain myself in other ways that don't involve food at all? And you can start to systematically kind of unravel that habit in a way that's comfortable and built to last. Uzo says, I live with a roommate who always sabotages me, buys my favorite snacks and eats them around me, or brings me fast food. I've told her I'm trying to lose weight, but it seems funny to her. Okay, so first off, technically, the roommate ain't sabotaging you, just technically. And that's an important distinction to make, because it keeps you connected to your power, right? Even if you live with people that seem like they're sabotaging you, at the end of the day, it's always up to you. You're strong enough to do what you want. For example, Uzo, if I said I'll give you $1 million if you lose weight this month, I bet you wouldn't give a shit what your roommate brought through the door, right? Because you'd be so focused on getting the $1 million, you just wouldn't care. You'd be motivated, focused, and you'd be fixated on the $1 million, and you wouldn't give a shit what favorite snack she brought in. So at the end of the day, we're not sabotaged. We sabotage ourselves based on what we decide and what we choose to do and focus on and think and all that stuff. So that's the first step, Uzo. So when I hear that, again, listen, I understand it's extra challenging if you have someone in your life putting tempting stuff in front of you. I get it. Okay. So please understand, I'm not like, oh, so it doesn't matter. Just say no. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, let's stay connected to the reality of the situation, that you are in control. And if this roommate's going to continue to do that, the main thing you can do, again, is boost up your motivation. Like I said, if I said I'll give you $1 million if you lose weight this month, would it be hard for you to avoid your roommate's snacks and fast foods? Not as hard, right? Because now you're motivated. So again, most people aren't really motivated enough, and so they fall prey to all the little temptations to stick around. And the problem isn't necessarily the temptations; it's the mindset that you have around those temptations. So hopefully that helps you. Cookie Jan says, what about eating at night, but for the whole stick to calorie deficit, eat fruit, low fat crackers? I'm not sure exactly what that means. What about eating at night, but for the whole stick to calorie deficit, eat fruit, low fat? I don't know if you're giving a suggestion for Uzo, but that's a great suggestion too. Because again, I'm glad you said that. The answer to dealing with nighttime eating is not just to get rid of the nighttime eating. You know what I mean? A solution is also to dial it down. So that is a great strategy too, to replace. That's one of the big things we use in Program Yourself then, with the 3 R's of weight loss: reduce, replace, remove. Most people only focus on removing. So that's another option for you as well, Kathleen, that you could work on reducing the eating post 8 p.m., and you'll still lose weight. So another great one. What about eating at night, but for the whole evening deficit? Yeah. So I think that's a great strategy too. Yeah. Start replacing some of those things for less calorie dense foods. Great strategy. Demi says, I've lost 7 kilograms, but after listening to your advice, I realize I have done it in a way that's not sustainable and that I've hated and by starving myself. Now all I want to do is binge. What do I do? Well, I mean, great job, Demi, just realizing that, right? In Program Yourself, then everything eating wise starts with awareness. And that's why right there, you could see it. The very first thing is awareness with the eating section, right? Because most people are not as aware as they need to be to really succeed with their eating and their weight. And so, so that's a big problem. Okay. And, I think that, yeah, sorry, I just got distracted there. So that's great. You got awareness of that, Demi, because now that you realize you did it in a way that's unsustainable, now the next time you approach it, you can choose a way that's more sustainable and approachable. And that changes everything. That changes everything for all of you folks. You don't realize that that's one of those things that's happening completely on autopilot with you, is that every time you think about losing weight or attempt to lose weight, you're doing it in an overwhelming way, almost guaranteed. And so your entire conceptualization of weight loss is embedded with overwhelming stress. That's how most of you just subconsciously think about weight loss. But it can be relaxing and calming too. You can lose weight calmly, enjoyably, easily, peacefully. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. It just depends on how you approach it. If you try to approach 100 miles an hour freaking yourself out, well, no. But if you approach it in a much more calm, relaxed way, you can, right? So that's the secret, Demi, is from here is relax, calm down, and start to find ways that are sustainable. And the sustainable ways typically are just less intense. And I know that, and the hardest part of that approach is your impatience, but I would focus on it, because even impatience, so you're impatient, but you're not losing weight fast. If you lose a bunch of weight for a month and then put it back on, that's not fast weight loss. That's no weight loss. So careful of that. Solomon says, I don't have a problem with my weight. I'm interested in hypnosis for confidence in speaking in public or on camera. Yeah, great. Hypnosis is super duper for confidence. I mean, in my life, I will tell you a defining moment in my life. I've had a lot of them, but one of the big defining moments in my life, confidence wise, I would say the number one moment of my life, confidence wise, was when I got certified as a hypnotist and NLP trainer, master practitioner. That wasn't actually my training. I got certified as a hypnotist and an NLP trainer, practitioner. And that experience boosted my confidence more than anything else that I've ever done. So very good idea to study hypnosis and NLP if you want to be more confident with speaking or just in life in general, I find. Another New Zealand, get out of here. Hey says hello from, I can't even pronounce it, Aotearoa, New Zealand. Yeah, it's so funny. I someday my goal, I gotta go and travel around the world, go visit everyone. But yeah, New Zealand will be one of the first on the list. Look at that. 4 people just today listening from New Zealand. That's pretty cool. All right, we got all the questions out, which is perfect because I got to go. So if you're not in my world, make sure you click the link in my bio. Go get the Program Yourself Thin hypnosis session. It's called the New Thin Me. It's a Kickstart session, completely free. Go check it out. If you're on Facebook, the link is right there for you. Go grab that. Get in my world. Got a bunch of cool free stuff coming beyond that. I'm here every day, Monday through Friday. So if you like this, I'm here every Monday through Friday, usually around noon Eastern. And you can get on here, ask questions, whatever. I'm happy to help out, any way I can. I'm here for you all. That's why I do this. And if you like listening, but you can't make it to the live, you can search Program Yourself Thin on any podcast platform and it'll show up. Okay. And you can listen to it whenever you want. All right. So go check that out. And I see, Demi, I see your question. I got to get out of here. Any advice for women approaching that time of the month who's having extreme cravings and wants to eat everything in sight? Yeah, Demi, I would say, first of all, prepare for that. So don't be shocked and surprised by it every month. Start to realize that this week you start to get hungrier and start to pre-plan some options that are healthier than what you may have picked if you kind of put it out of your mind and then all of a sudden are surprised by it. So that's my big suggestion to you. Right. And the other one is, so that's my big one, is have more awareness of that process and start to pre-plan better options. That's how I go about it. Yeah. Okay. Hey says I'm an addiction counselor. Your stuff makes sense. Thank you. I really appreciate you saying that, because again, I mean, there's no question that there's a thread that runs through weight issues is addictive behavior and thinking and all that. So without question, that's not my specialty, but I mean, it's kind of embedded into the whole process to some degree. So I'm not surprised to hear that there's some, overlap there. No doubt about it. Right. Demi says, yes, please come to Australia. That would be fun. Yes. A world tour. That would be really amazing. And I definitely see that, especially after I get the next 2 books I have. I definitely, once those are done, that might be the next focus, is setting up like a speaking, thing. That'd be so cool. It'd be so fun to meet people and be able to work with people around the world. That'd be a lot of fun. So yeah, maybe. All right. Everyone have a super duper day and we'll talk soon. Bye.